Hi, I'm Stuart Coleman. I'm Director of Strategic Business Development at the Open Data Institute.
What is the ODI all about?
The Open Data Institute is a not-for-profit operating globally but headquartered out of London. We work to make data work better for everyone, and we work with governments, businesses and wider sectors to do that.
Why is open data and open source data so important in today's world?
Well, open data and open source are different. Typically, people would reference open source when they're talking about software. But open data really has gathered momentum over the last decade. We were co-founded 10 years ago, initially with governments pushing out lots of data. But increasingly, businesses are working to open up and often share their data. And over the last 4 or 5 years, things like the pandemic have actually really helped kind of provide a silver lining to make people and organizations realize that sharing data can not only help tackle shared problems, but also build trust and opportunities to support them to innovate in ways they hadn't perhaps thought of before.
And what kind of positive changes have you seen in the space over the last decade? I can imagine it's changed quite a lot.
I think it was quite an interesting excerpt in the talk this morning from one of the shadow ministers, and she highlighted that actually the role data and opening and sharing data can play in innovation and regulation, that the two can coexist. I think that was quite an interesting point for me, and we've seen that happen in sectors like financial services, where governments have mandated in certain countries that data needs to be shared across the banking sector. I think the same opportunities could and should be applied to things like energy and climate. So hopefully we'll see more of that in the next few years.
Exciting. And final question for you today. What is your big tech prediction for 2023?
I'm hoping that there's going to be a watershed moment with data, and that watershed moment will be that organizations and governments start to see data differently, to see it and treat it as infrastructure, not as an extractive resource that they consume as and when they want to, but something they invest in and grow with a view to it being fundamental to improving and advancing society.
For more tech news, visit em360tech.com.